Hi guys, thanks for tuning in and welcome to Story Time in My Kitchen again. Don't mind the way I look. This is leftover from yesterday with a little bit of touch-ups. So, where do I begin? Today I wanted to tell you, it's a life event for me. Let's see. Years ago, on Mother's Day 2015, I got viciously assaulted. Not SA, it was DV all the way. And so with that happening to me, I ended up becoming an agoraphobic in that time, because I was so afraid of leaving my house and seeing this man because he lived in my town, and I didn't press charges because I was afraid of retaliation against me. And so I was like, you know what, I'll take care of it myself. And yeah, that never happened. I dealt with it for years. Well, come to find out, this man that assaulted me, he passed away. He overdosed. And how are you supposed to feel about that? This was a man that I once loved. And I knew he was an addict because some people don't know, but I am a recovering addict myself. I'll have 10 years clean November 5th, but I'm waiting to do a video on that on November 5th. But this man passed away, and I'm just like, I was with him a very short time, only 8 months, 6 months, but he ended up moving right in with me because he got evicted from his apartment, and he knows I am an empath, a clairsentient empath too, and so everybody, like, the feelings are very heightened around me, and he knew this, so he played on my feelings for that. And so I was like, okay, you can come stay with me very temporarily, because I did not want to be in a relationship with this man. I was split up from my husband at the time, and my husband was away. We were separated. Hi, boo-boo. And so I ended up meeting this man on Facebook. We had the same circle of friends. We went to the same high school. He was from my hometown, and I was like, all right, maybe this could be something new. Hold on, I gotta give Boo some food, or he's gonna meow Boo the whole thing. And so, I didn't know he was an addict at the time. I was just starting my process of sobriety, trying to get clean, trying to get off heroin, and I didn't know he was an addict, and I had no idea of his DV past, and so I didn't know any of that, and I just went in blindsided. My husband and I, we were at a very rocky time. I was at a very low point in my life, and he was gone for a year and a half. He was going to be in jail for a year and a half, and I was like so hurt by that. And it's not an excuse. These are not excuses why I should have entered this relationship, but I did. And around 2 o'clock in the morning on Mother's Day, he went out. And I think the day before, I bought him the new Xbox 360 at that time. That's how long ago this was. And it was the day before, so I just gave him this present. It was like $600, $500, $600. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, let me, maybe this will make him happy, give him a present, No. I don't know what happened. He went out, like, he didn't know anybody in my neighborhood, but he went out, met some people, started drinking, smoking, doing other kind of drugs. And then when he came home, he started yelling at me. Now, this man made me go anorexic, because he would tell me when I could eat, when I couldn't eat, if I could eat, what I could wear, what I couldn't wear, if I could wear makeup, if I couldn't wear makeup, how much makeup I could put on. And it took me a long, long time to get over that. I mean, my husband had to reprogram my head when he came home. And I kept it honest with my husband. I wrote him a letter. I told him everything that was going on. But in his defense, he was like, what can I do? I'm locked up. I'm doing a bid, So Mother's Day comes along, and we were only together maybe like 4 months, 5 months. And he came home severely messed up. And he ended up putting me in the hospital because he boot stomped my ass. Now, the week before that, the week to the day before that, he ended up giving me a serious black eye. Boo! Hold on a second. I gotta let him come up here, or he's going to be all over me. Come on, boo boo. Come on. Come on. Boo, come on. Come on, baby. Up, up, up. Come on. Up. Let's go. Come on. Up. Go. Up. Up. Good boy. Good boy. Hold on. I'm doing a little rearranging because Boo Boo's now with me. So, where was I? I forget. Anyways, I'll just go back. So I ended up giving him the Xbox. Okay, the week before I said something really, really messed up. And I can admit to it. It was messed up. I told him to go F his mama. And stuff because I was so mad at him. Well, I got douche right in the face. And ended up breaking my eye socket. Breaking this eye socket. And my eye's still messed up to this day. Like, there's still bone shards. Like, if I get hit in a certain place, it could go right into my eye and I'll be blind. So when that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. Take a breather. And wasn't having it. He was like, nope, I'm not going anywhere. And it was my house. It was my house. And he would not leave. And he moved his girl best friend in with us. This is where it gets where I'm like, what is wrong with women today? What is wrong with girls today that they will not stand up for other girls? Even if they hear something bad going on, right? They won't be like, yo, you need to stop. You need to take a step back. No, this broad didn't do that. So the following weekend, I give him the Xbox, and he's still mad at me. And he went out, did what he did. He came home, started yelling at me, saying that I eat too much, and I do this, and I do that. And I was like, bro, you tell me what I can eat. You tell me what I can't eat. And you're telling me this? I'm like, you got me messed up with her out in the living room. I go, because she fucking can eat 12 sandwiches in a shot. Like, if you can do that, good for you. I can't. That'll make me sick. And I was like, you got me mixed up with the wrong girl. Now, he was all messed up, so I was like, I understand you're not in your right headspace. Like, it is possible for you to confuse me. Well, he didn't like any of my answers, and he ended up boot stomping my ass. And, like, when this woman finally came into the room, now I'm using the word woman very loosely here. When she came into the room, like, to finally get him to be like, yo, you need to stop, it was because I stopped making noises. She thought I was dead, and she didn't know what they were going to do. Because they were in my house, and it was a one-family house, so I didn't have anybody upstairs. I didn't have anybody downstairs. My neighbors were like, we lived where nobody was going to call the cops. Nobody was going, like, you're not a cop caller. You don't do this. You don't rat on your neighbors. blah, blah, blah. Well, I ended up kicking him out, and I ended up having my friend take me to the hospital. I legit had his boot prints on my ribs. I had 3 concussions, 2 broken ribs, and a lot of other injuries. And he went back to my house to go to sleep, and so did Shay. And I was like, what in the hell do I do? And the cops came to the hospital, and I was like, listen, I'm not one to report people. You know, I will take care of it by myself. And they were just like, listen, Carla, Murphy's Law isn't always the greatest law. And they're like, we don't want it done on our streets. And I was like, that's okay, I'll take it to another town. And so, I didn't know how to get him out of my house. I didn't want to involve the cops, because in my head, I owed court fines. I was like, do I have a warrant out? Don't I have a warrant out? I think I only owe court fines, so I don't think they'd put one out on me for court fines. So I didn't want to get the cops involved. Plus, I had a 16-year-old daughter at the time, and she was living with me. And so me and her were coming up with ways on how we can get this man out the house and stuff. So I decided that I am going to allow myself to get evicted to get him to leave. So I ended up staying in one of those like apartment hotel things for 3 months. And so that's the only way that I could get him separated from me. And like, I hid in this hotel, and I made my daughter go stay with my father. So my father and her dad, her biological dad's father, because her dad, like, well, my husband she calls dad, was in jail at the time. So I was like, you're gonna have to go stay with Papa or Grandpa. And she was fine with that. She was, as long as I was okay, and I knew she would be perfectly safe and fine. Because I was like, I'm not jeopardizing my daughter any more than I've already had in her life. Like, I never used around my daughter. I was never high around my daughter. That's a whole story for November 5th. And so, guys, this is Boo Boo. Make your appearance, Boo. Sorry, Bubba. My stand fell. Say hi. So that's my boy. He never really leaves me alone. So, I ended up at this hotel, and during this time, Andrew, my husband, Andrew, he got flat date out of jail, and so we ended up, like, talking things out, working things out. Like, I never hid anything from him and stuff, and I told him everything that happened, and he was in rare form. I had to stop my husband from killing this man. Well, this man stalked my daughter at her work. Like, he didn't know where I was. He found out what hotel I was at and ended up sitting outside my front door. And luckily, I seen him before I ever went there, and I ended up moving back to my hometown and moving to a very, like, secluded, like, village. And I felt very safe there and stuff. And that's finally when we lost touch and everything. Well, but during that time, my head was still messed up because of his narcissistic ways and him, like, tearing me down piece by piece by piece for months. And so I was like, frig, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to, like, bump into him, see him, like, anything, because I knew he lived in the same town as me. And I didn't know that at the time when I moved back. I found out when he showed up at my work and stood out in front of my desk. And I had to have him removed and stuff. And he just sat there. And every year on the anniversary of what he did to me, he would sit out and sit in front of because I worked at a store at the customer service desk. So he would sit out in front of my desk every year on that date. And he even ended up getting the same tattoo, the same one that my daughter has on her leg. Well, she doesn't have it anymore. She got it covered. And I was like, how fucking creepy is this? Is creepy. And this is why I never left my house, and this, that, and the next thing, because I didn't want to run into him. I didn't want to be reminded. And so Andrew's been helping me work on everything. Like, obviously, I gained all the weight back that I lost in that time. And I'm wearing makeup again and dressing the way I want to. But Andrew went through a hell of a time trying to reprogram my head with me to get me back to where I was. Now, I know this is jumping all over the place and stuff, but this is what I can remember. And my thing for today's video is, this man passed away from an overdose. And, like, he would always be like, you're not clean, you can't get clean, da-da-da-da. And I was like, you know what? I had to block him from everything. And, so he passed away, and I was like, how am I supposed to feel about that? I did once love this man. And we did go through a lot of a lot of things together. And it's like, do I have a right not to feel bad about it? Should I feel bad about it? There's no way in hell I'm going to go to the wake or the funeral or anything like that, because personally, I think it's very inappropriate if I show up because of all the hatred that I had for this man. I don't know if it's hatred or I was just deathly afraid of him. Because in my head, I was always like, he's going to come back and finish this job. He is going to come back and finish it. And because he always told me that he was so mad at me because he couldn't control me. That I was the challenge, like, that he couldn't control. So he was always mad about that. And I was just like, that's, like, retarded. Like, that's just stupid. Like, why, like, people have a right to be independent. People have a right to think what they want to think, to have their own minds. And he was trying to take all this from me. Actually, he did take all this from me for a while. And he didn't like it when I started regaining my voice again. And when I started, like, getting him where he could not come to my work anymore. He could not sit out on the grounds. And so one of his ex-girlfriends became a very good friend of mine and told me after we broke up, he went back to an ex-girlfriend of his. And she also told me that he DV'd 5 other girlfriends. And my state did nothing about it. They didn't press charges on him. They didn't, like, put him in jail. And some of these girls got restraining orders, went to the cops, told them what happened. And my state did nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, it was my choice. It was my choice not to have him arrested, because I just didn't want any more connection to him. I didn't want any more drama with him. I just wanted him to go away. You know, I didn't want to put my daughter through all that, reliving that night. She wasn't there, but she saw it on me. And I didn't want that for her. So I was like, you know what? One day, he's going to get judged. And so, he ended up passing away of an overdose 3 days after my birthday. What kind of birthday present is that, huh? That's sorry to say, but... And so I was just like, do I feel sad about it? Do I feel upset about it? Do I have a right not to feel sad about this? Because, in all honesty, I felt a big sense of relief that I don't have to worry about running into this man no more. I don't have to worry about my daughter running into him or my husband running into him, because I never ever want to lose my husband again. I'm back. So, we're in my bedroom now because my husband came home from work, and he gets very, like, touchy when he hears this story. So, as I was saying, this man died 3 days after my birthday, and one of his ex-girlfriends ended up calling me up. Now, me and her, we became friends, and she was all distraught, and I was just like, dude, I'm like, he did not as bad as he did to me, to you, and you're upset about this man dying? Now, that's when I was just like, well, should I feel bad about it? Like, I'm in such a weird headspace, because I don't know if I should feel bad about him passing away, or, like, obviously I feel bad about anybody passing away. I'm not that cold-hearted, but with everything that he has done to me, and everything he has mentally put me through, physically put me through, does it make me a bad person not to feel bad? I'm going to be in therapy for the rest of my life over this shit. So I wanted to know from you guys, how would you feel? Would you feel bad? Do I have a right to feel bad? Like, well, not, I mean, do I have a right not to feel bad? Like, or would you guys not feel bad, or would you feel bad, or would you be a mix of emotions like I am? Now, I always knew he was going to die of an overdose, because he always did too much. He always lied about using, and, you know, even when I was at my worst, like, I lost my father last year, and that was, besides Andrew, that was the one man that knew every little thing about me. Every little thing. That was, like, I never hid anything from him. I was like, if I'm doing what I'm doing, so if something happens to me, I need at least one person to know what is going on. I need at least one person to know, so they can either tell the doctor what I'm doing, or anything, tell a lawyer, anything. Just be like, I need at least one person to know. So, what would you guys do if you were in my shoes? Leave it in the comment section below. Remember, please be nice. Because, like I said, I'm only like maybe 15 videos deep into my YouTube career. And editing will come at a certain time. Just not right now, because I have no idea what program I should use for a Chromebook. Because I don't have any, like, Apple, Mac, whatever. I do Android and Chromebooks. So, if you have any suggestions on editors, let me know. Your girl could use the info. I'd appreciate it. So, I want to thank all of my subscribers, any new ones that I may get, and new ones. Thank you for coming and taking this journey with me. I have a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing. Obviously, it's all aspects of my life. I'm going to be talking about all aspects of my life. Like I said, I am working on like my agoraphobia, so I can go out and do like other content. I do have something planned with my husband for like in the next like week or two. But that's going to happen at night, because I'm usually not up in the daytime. My daytime is nighttime. So, please like the video, comment, share, do whatever it is you got to do, or whatever it is you want to do. If you want to wait a couple more videos to see if you actually like who I am, like the content, to subscribe, I'm good with that too. I'm thankful for all of you guys that are here, all of you guys that have been with me since I started 3 years ago. I just have to learn to be consistent with everything, because I really want to do this, because I do not work. My husband works, obviously for reasons, because I don't really leave my house at all. So, give me a like, give me a follow. It would be highly appreciated. I want to thank you all once again. And don't forget, leave your comments below about your feelings on the matter. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I will see you hopefully next week.